In the year 2013, China did 4 times the digital transactions than India.
Digital payments are becoming increasingly popular in China.
The average per capita online transactions exceeded 10,000 yuan in 2013.
There was a massive gap between both these countries. A decade later, things have changed dramatically. Today, India does more digital transactions than China, the US and Europe combined. In terms of numbers, this has grown from 127 crore transactions in 2013 to 12,700 crore transactions in 2023. A growth of 100 times in just one decade. And this happened mainly thanks to UPI. The government of India now wants to do the same transformation to e-commerce in the country. Currently, only 5% of MSMEs sell their products or services online. In terms of customers, only about 20% of Indians have ever bought anything online. So, there's a massive potential for growth here. And the government launched ONDC 2 years back to do just that. And we have talked about ONDC in several of our videos. We have had a few founders who were building for ONDC. But in this video, I want to talk about why ONDC is seeing a sudden resurgence. In the last few months, several big tech players have announced they will be joining ONDC. So why are they doing this, and how is ONDC solving the various challenges in India's e-commerce? Let's understand that in this video. Also, there's a big surprise for the viewers. You get a chance to win cash prizes worth millions of dollars and get seed funding to build a startup on ONDC. So please stick around till the end of the video to learn more. I want to begin by defining ONDC in one line. It is an initiative by the Indian government to make e-commerce more democratic and accessible for everyone. See, India's e-commerce market is estimated to be worth more than $100 billion. However, only about 20% of Indians have ever bought anything online. This shows a great opportunity on the demand side of the things. On the supply side, it's even massive. Out of around 100 million MSMEs in India, only 5 to 6% are selling online. Imagine the massive potential that could be realized if all of these could come online. And this is the thinking behind ONDC. It is going to impact every domain of e-commerce in India, something that we talked about in a previous video, which you can watch by clicking on the I button on the screen, and you would also get a link in the description. The pilot for ONDC was launched in April 2022, and it opened for public use in September of the same year. And by the start of 2023, ONDC was live in 85 cities in India. It had around 85 merchants onboarded and was handling only 2,000 orders per month. 1 year later, things have improved drastically in 2024. ONDC is now present in 543 cities, has more than 3.3 lakh merchants on board, and is doing 90 lakh transactions a month, which is a growth of over 4,500 times in 1 year. So, what changed? What made merchants excited to get on board ONDC? The first reason is the network effect. See, as new merchants and customers hear about the benefits of ONDC, they try it out and then tell more people about it. And because of this network effect, big companies are starting to see a value in ONDC and hence are joining it.
In January of last year, I think we did 50 transactions per day, and a grand total of 1,250 transactions in January of last year, right? As we speak right now, we do somewhere close to about 300,000 transactions a day.
Then there are clear benefits that people are seeing with an open network like ONDC over monopolies of various marketplaces. Things like low commission and more visibility. Let's understand this with an example. If we talk about the food delivery space in India, currently marketplaces charge around 25 to 33% commission from restaurants. In the case of ONDC, there is no commission. The seller apps do charge a 2 to 5% fee to cover their expenses, but there is no monopolization of any sort happening here. If you're not happy with an app, there are hundreds of options for you to choose from. So more competition means less commission. Then there is visibility. Unlike Amazon and Flipkart, where you can only sell to people on their apps, here you can sell to anyone connected to the ONDC network, which increases the visibility of your store and product. And this is helping brands of all scales and sizes.
The other component that comes in from a larger entity perspective is they're able to see and say, hey, can my overall cost of customer acquisition go down? Can my CAC go down? Can my LTV go up? Right? And those are those components that they are starting to look at, because of which they are actually interested and they're jumping onto the bandwagon on this one.
Now, it's true that ONDC is growing extremely fast, but they are yet to solve some of the biggest pain points of merchants and customers. And because of these pain points, ONDC is not yet at the same level compared to marketplaces like Flipkart, Amazon, and Swiggy, Zomato. And just to give you a quick comparison, Zomato does around 5.4 crore orders a month. Compared to that, ONDC does only 10% of this. And that's just the food delivery. If we consider the entire e-commerce, ONDC has to cover a lot of ground. And one of the biggest factors that ONDC has to solve for is trust. I mentioned before how ONDC is solving issues like CAC and LTV for merchants, but what about the buyers? Who is responsible if my order is not delivered? The restaurant, the seller app, the buyer app, or the logistic partner? How can ONDC set the accountability? And unless these issues are solved, buyers won't find value in ONDC. They will continue to pay high commissions to existing marketplaces in exchange for better customer service. Now, it's not that ONDC is not doing anything about it. They are taking several measures, including the use of blockchain to improve the inter-app experience. And the first thing they are solving for is ratings. Ratings are directly connected to trust. Higher and more ratings mean a seller you can trust. Currently, you can only provide ratings for orders that are fulfilled. So, in the case of an order not getting delivered, there is no way to rate the sellers, which is a huge problem right now. And ONDC is using blockchain to solve this problem. They have launched Confidex, a blockchain-based solution to establish transparency and trust. So, let's say you're using Paytm to order pizza from Domino's, and it's being delivered through Dunzo. At the end of the delivery, you can rate both Domino's and Dunzo. Once you do that, both these partners' ratings goes through the network and is stored in the blockchain, which means no one can then change it. The best part is that this rating is available across the ONDC network, not just the app you used, Paytm in this example. This is great for both users and sellers who are providing excellent service. This is unlike Amazon or Flipkart, where you have to build your reputation and ratings from scratch when you decide to move to a new platform. And this use of blockchain gives the ability to provide a better and much more enhanced rating system in the future. In fact, ONDC is planning to collect these ratings and categorize their sellers into different tiers, giving them badges like diamond, gold, and silver to make it much easier for their customers to identify the seller's quality. And ratings are just the first step forward in improving the customer experience. With the help of blockchain, ONDC could become the e-commerce disruptor it was promised out to be. So in this section, I want to talk about the other potential opportunities that ONDC could work on with the help of blockchain. First is an ONDC-wide ad network, where ads are served to the customers based on their preferences, or a recommendation engine, which is tailor-made for each user based on their preferences and behavior across the entire network. Then there is pricing, which can fluctuate depending on the user's spending power or location. For example, Netflix is cheaper in India than in the United States. Same way, companies could charge different prices depending on the spending power of a user in India. And finally, coupons and discounts, which could be dynamic and automated and could be used across the entire network. And this is not something unheard of. Companies like Amazon do provide these tools and features to their customers. If you use Amazon, you get platform-wide discounting tools, the ability to advertise to all of Amazon's customers, and you can access Amazon's massive fulfillment network. ONDC does not have any of these. You want discounting tools? Build them yourself. You want to advertise? Do it on Google or Meta. Fulfillment? That is not smooth as well, despite ONDC having multiple logistics providers. The biggest missed opportunity of them all is the lack of personalized recommendations. Right now, buyer-side app interaction with customers are siloed. The rest of the network does not benefit from these relationships. What if instead the data collected from an interaction between a buyer-side app and a customer was recorded and distributed to other network participants, so that everyone could know more about the customer and their preferences and behavior? Now, when we talk about customers' data being spread across the entire network, someone could come and raise the issue of data privacy. And yes, it's going to be a big challenge for ONDC However, blockchain may be one way to protect consumer data while simultaneously distributing it in an opaque, non-identifying way to network participants. I've already spoken about how Confidex is a piece of ONDC blockchain infrastructure specifically to improve ratings and support. Now imagine if there were other blockchains to support an ONDC-wide ad network or discounts or coupons or pricing or a recommendation engine. It is the path to ONDC becoming as big and ubiquitous as UPI someday. And of course, this is not gonna happen overnight. Someone is going to have to build all of these tools, all of this infrastructure. And guess what? There's actually an opportunity for you to do this right now, and with the possibility of winning quite a bit of money if you build something substantial. How? Well, there's a free startup competition / hackathon being put on by Solana called the Solana Renaissance Hackathon. And ONDC has partnered with Super Team India to offer a dedicated prize tag for this hackathon, especially for people building for ONDC. Now, for people building for ONDC using Solana, there's a price tag of $10,000. And this is in addition to a global prize pool which is worth millions of dollars. And that's not it. If you plan to build a startup on ONDC, you also get a chance to win seed funding for it. This hackathon is 5 weeks long. It started on the 4th of March, and even though it started a few days back, you can still join it. And since this is a global online hackathon, you can participate from anywhere in India or the world. Coming back to the ONDC track for this hackathon, the goal here is to build products with the potential to impact 1.4 billion people.
So don't think of it as a tech problem. Everything that we are trying to do has to have an element from either a demand side or a supply side, and there has to be a certain amount of trust that gets involved. Which means that whatever you do, understand the business need, understand the ethos or the mindset behind the customer or the seller. Okay, why they should do this, would they do this, would they not do this? That being said, the second thing, as I said, is please keep in mind what we are doing. We're doing not for 5 million people, 10 million people. No, we're actually doing this something that is going to impact 1 billion people in the first shot itself. So whatever you do, whatever you design, think of it from how can I build this from as close as frictionless as possible.
And here are a few ideas that ONDC is looking forward to. A marketplace for coupons and offers with a funding mechanism for buyers and sellers. A negotiation engine for enhanced logistics service through an order book system. An ads exchange that tokenizes inventory, making it freely tradable across network apps. Asset tokenization to enable recurring fractional purchases for precious metals like gold. Skilling ecosystem to manage certificates and job listings across OneST and ONDC NPs. Seller blacklisting mechanism to identify repeat offenders across the network. Or any other creative ideas you might have for increasing volume on ONDC. These projects will be evaluated based on usability, innovative blockchain use, adaptability, and compliance with local data and other laws. And if you need help getting started with Solana, you can reach out to Super Team India, which is a community of founders, developers, and operators from the Solana ecosystem who can help you navigate the tech, product, and the wider ecosystem. Participation in this hackathon is entirely free, and you can find the link to sign up in the description and the pinned comment down below. And big thanks, by the way, to Solana for sponsoring this video.